everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and I am kicking off drugstore month with a little shop my stash. So at the beginning of every month for the rest of the year, I'm going to be shopping my stash for products in my collection that I really haven't used that much, or just things I really want to use. I'm going to use them for the whole month, and then at the end of the month come back and share whether I'm going to keep or declutter the items, as well as give little reviews. And since the theme of February is drugstore only, I shop my stash just for drugstore products. I think all of these are still available. I know I see these around a lot of the time. I think a couple might not be, but my own personal theme for the year is to use what I have. So a couple of these might not be available, but I think most of them are. And it's all drugstore only. So the primer I pulled out was the Revlon Rose Glow Face Gloss. I think I shopped my stash for this last year as well, and I remember really liking it because I think it was just a really similar primer to one of my all-time favorite primers, which has been discontinued, which is the Laura Geller Spackle Under Makeup Tinted Primer in the shade Ethereal. And this just has a very similar glow to that one. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. I can tell this primer is getting a little age on it because it's not as thin and watery as it used to be. It does say on the packaging that it's 80% water, and before when I would put it on, it would transform pretty much to just water. But this felt a little bit thicker, not in a bad way, it still spread pretty nicely, but it does give just a nice little like tiny hint of a pinky sheen to the skin, and I really like it. Like, I like wearing this on bare skin. I think it looks really nice, but foundation looks really nice on top of it. And then the foundation, no, I'm gonna go with eyes first because I think this is gonna give me a little fallout. I picked out two palettes to use for the month, but I'm only gonna use one today, of course. I picked out the Profusion Citrine palette because I haven't used this in a long time. I don't think I've used this since this time last year because I did a video on this in February of last year, and I don't think I've touched it since. But it's a really beautiful yellow palette from Profusion. I think this was $5. And I'm also gonna pull in one of my all-time favorite palettes. It's from L'Oreal. It's the Paradise Enchanted Scented Eyeshadow Palette. They do still make this and they do still sell it. It doesn't really have a scent anymore, but when it did, it smelled like tahini. I don't know why that's the scent I got, but that spicy, salty scent, that's what it smelled like. It never said what it smelled like. It just says Scented Eyeshadow Palette. But this is an absolutely beautiful palette. The colors are all so beautiful. They're so buttery and pigmented, blendable. The shimmers perform. They're so good. I want to use this one today, but no. I'm going to use the yellow one because, I don't know, why not just have a nice bright pop of yellow on the eyes in winter. I might dip into the Paradise Enchanted one for that darker shade. Let's see what I want to do. I'm just going to kind of bounce around and do a little yellow eye makeup. I'm going to go first with the one called Dandy. Ooh, these are super powdery. I don't really remember this palette at all, actually. Well, it's very pigmented very quickly, which is awesome. I got eyeshadow in my hair. It's just really dusty and really soft. Get a different brush. I'm gonna go with the one on the end called Tea, the darkest one. This is the one I might dip into the L'Oreal one because I think I want a little bit of darkness on the outer corner. No, do I? I kind of just want to keep it yellow, actually. I don't think I'm gonna use that one. I think I kind of just want to have like a big bright yellow eye, the lid, brow bone, and the lower lash line, like with no depth or anything. But I want to do one of these shimmers on the lid though. Dang, this is really powdery. Let me swatch these actually because I don't really remember how they look. Ooh, all of them look pretty. These look really pretty. Let's go with, I'm going to go with strobe lights on the lid. It didn't really do much. Added a little bit of something, but it's not really that impactful. I think this palette really shines with the mattes. There's a lot of sparkle fallout I was trying to wipe away, and I could see all the sparkle still stuck on my skin. That's the only thing that drives me nuts about really sparkly like shimmer shades, is that they falls down and you have to kind of like make sure to cover it up unless you don't mind sparkles everywhere. Okay, so I just put on the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, and I was talking and talking and didn't realize I didn't turn the camera back on after replacing my battery. But I was talking about the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This is what I'm shopping my stash for, this foundation type thing. It says it's a tinted skin veil with a sheer to medium coverage, but I think you have to use a tiny, tiny, tiny amount to get this to be sheer coverage. I think it's almost medium right off the bat. But as I was using this last year, I don't know if you could see already, I feel like this has started oxidizing, and I don't remember it doing that when I first got it. But I used it a few times last year, late in the year, and I just noticed that it got it in my hair. I felt my skin getting pinker and pinker and pinker throughout the day, but it's very, very, very pretty on the skin. Like a really natural look. Looks like my skin, but a little more refreshed, a little covered up, but not too crazy. I really, really like this a lot, so I'm hoping maybe it was just a weird day, I don't know. A concealer I pulled out. Did I pull out a concealer? I thought I did. I don't think I did, actually. Let's use the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer. I haven't used this in a while because I've been just kind of focusing on other things, wanting to use things up, and this one was pretty new. And I love this concealer. This is one of those things, like if I could only pick one, this is going to be one of them. It's so pretty on the skin. I wish they had a better shade range because I think there's only 4 or 5 colors and pretty much all of them look like this one. If they had a better shade range, more people could use it, and I think it'd be a way more popular product because the texture and the coverage is perfect. It's immaculate. I love it. And I think this is like the maybe third or fourth one that I've had. I really, really like it a lot. And the Tinted Hydrator really doesn't need concealer at all. At least I don't think so. I just wanted to use it. And I'm going to do the under eyes with my finger. This is just so nice. It's so lightweight and so thin. And on the under eyes, it works really well because it's very hydrating. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It has nice coverage to it, but doesn't look masking. So there it is, all blended on the under eyes. I just really like it. I haven't used it on the under eyes in a while. Why not? I really like that a lot. For powder, this one is discontinued, but I have pan in it already, and I thought, if I can use this for the rest of the year, I bet I can finish it up. It's the Milani Prep Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Powder. This, I think, was like the first powder I ever really loved. And I remember buying it and using up the whole thing and then buying it again. And I think I probably have 1 or 2 of these still with a seal on them and everything because they discontinued it because they're crazy. It's just so nice. I'm sure you can still find it online somewhere, but they were crazy for discontinuing this one. I'm really liking the way that the skin looks. I forget how good this is, the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. It's just so, so, so pretty. Because it doesn't look like foundation. For bronzer, I pulled out one. I was so excited to pull this out and to use it for the whole month. It is, let me grab a brush. It's the L'Oreal Glam Bronzer for face and body. And they still make this, but they don't sell it in this bronze packaging anymore. They did repackage it. I think it's like in a light, lilac-y kind of color now. It's still the exact same thing, just as big and everything. This one, the lid broke off, but the color is medium. And I did hit pan on there. You can see the little plate that it's on, and if you look at certain lighting, I could see the pan kind of peeking through a little bit here, but I used the heck out of this when I got it because I wanted it so, so, so badly, and I didn't buy it because I think it was like $11 or $12 at the time. I didn't buy it, and I regretted it the whole entire year because it was a limited edition summer thing. And then I saw it again a few months later, and I bought 2 of them right away because I was like, I have to have that. Even though I had never tried it, I just felt I would love it. And I'm really glad they kept this in their line. It's just a really pretty bronzer. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. There's a little bit of gold sparkle in it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there's a little bit of gold sparkle in there. It doesn't really translate to the skin too much. Like, it doesn't look like you put gold sparkles all over your face. And it does have a little bit of a reddy orange undertone, which I love in a bronzer. And I'm really excited to pull this out for this month. I love it. I love it so much. I'm so excited. Okay, for highlighter, I pulled out two to use for this month. I pulled out the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter. This is the gold one called Molten Gold. I remember when this came out, like everyone lost their minds. Like the drugstore didn't really have a lot of really, really good highlighters like this. And when Maybelline came out with this, like it was everywhere. And I did buy it and use it, but I just found that it was too golden for my skin tone and I didn't really love it on myself. But I repurchased it not too long ago because I thought, oh, I have to try it again. So I haven't used this one yet, but I do want to kind of experiment with it this month. And then I pulled out the Milani Supercharged Highlighter Duo. Oh no, I think it's just called Highlighter Duo, but the shade is called Supercharged. This is what it looks like. Apparently one side is cream and one is powder, but it's almost impossible to tell which is which because they have the exact same texture. It's so strange. But I bet one is more like that putty kind of soft cream to powder texture because it literally feels like powder. So I don't know which is which. But this is super, super pretty. I tend to just dip into both. And this is what I'm going to use today. I just kind of dip into both of them like this. And then that's what I put on. So, so pretty. It has a tiny bit of a pinky undertone, but not too crazy. Ooh, I like that. The tinted hydrator looks really, really good. I wonder if it was like a powder that I had on top that day or something, like something else that was causing it to oxidize so much. Because right now, like by now it would have been super, super pink and I think it looks pretty good. I'll keep an eye on it throughout the month though. Blushes, I pulled out two blushes I want to use this month. This is one I rediscovered during my blush declutter. This is the Revlon blush in the shade Naughty Nude. I have had this for probably like 10 years, no joke. I used one all the way up. It was my favorite blush, my like first blush I ever bought that I really loved. And I just loved everything about it. Like the tone is perfect, it's nude, but a tiny bit of rosiness. It goes with everything. Haven't used it in a while. They also they updated the packaging so it doesn't look like this anymore. It's just one full square and I think they took out the little brush too. I kind of want to use this one today because I think it'll go better with the yellow eyes. But the other one I pulled out is this from CoverGirl, the trublend So Flushed High Pigment Blush in the shade Hot Frenzy. I mean, look at that blush. I think I used this a few times just for the review, but I didn't really reach for it a lot after that just because look at it. I don't really know how to pull this kind of blush off, but I keep picturing it in my head. Like this red blush on my cheeks, but like barely their eyes, if anything, like just maybe something to cancel out the eyelid, lots of mascara, black liner. That's what I'm kind of picturing, maybe no highlight. I don't know. I want to use this month, but I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to use the good old Revlon. We'll see if it's as good as I remember, because I feel like I've romanticized it a little bit, but I think it's still going to be pretty good. Yep, perfect. This reminds me a little bit of MAC Warm Soul, doesn't it? I've been using that one a lot too. I used that a lot last year. I feel like this looks so similar to that one. I might have to compare them. Ooh, I love it. So glad to pull that out. I'm gonna do my brows with my usual stuff that I'm just using, but I'm gonna use a little bit of the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade 002 Ice. I can't see, like the sun is coming in and the writing is white, so I feel like I'm going like this trying to see the writing. I remember when I bought this gloss, I've had this since last year, or was it the year before? I remember when they came out with these and I lost my mind. I saw them online and I was like, I have to go find that right now. And I went to Target and I just felt Target would have them and they had a little display. I picked up this one and I got in the car and immediately unwrapped it and put it on. Like I had to have it. I had to have it. And I think it's a really awesome gloss. A little thick, really, really smooth. It kind of feels like a thicker version of the CoverGirl Yummy glosses. and really nice. Has a little bit of scent though, so you can taste a little bit of like coconut. Okay, put on brows and then we'll finish up the eyes. Where are my brow things at? Okay, got brows on. I also did some setting spray. I'm loving the, which bottle is it? I think it's this one. The Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist. I shot my stash for this last month, but I can't stop using it. It just adds like this nice glow to the skin. It melts all your makeup together and it makes it last all day. It's awesome. This one is empty because I poured it out into another bottle because I don't really like the sprayer on this, but that's what I put on my skin. I also put on a little bit of yellow shadow on the lower lash line, and I put on my brows, but I used this today, the Got To Be Glued Styling Spiking Glue. So I did get the brow gel and I did do a video on this, but I hadn't used the original, and this is what inspired Got To Be to make a brow gels, because people were using the hair gel as brow stuff. I really want to do a video on this month, so I'm still testing it out, but so far I think this is like 1,000 times better than the brow gel. Oh, it's really, really nice, but more to come on that. I'm still kind of get my feel for it. So mascara, what did I pull out for mascara? Oh, this one. The Maybelline Colossal Curl Bounce, and I stumbled upon a dupe that I didn't know existed in my collection. I think the Maybelline Colossal Curl Bounce is exactly the same as the Dior Iconic Over Curl Mascara. They are so similar. Both of them a very dry formula. They're both a very curl holding, like they have similar brushes. Not that that necessarily means they're dupes, but very similar brushes. I mean, the formula is indistinguishable. It's both very, very dry, and just the way it goes on your lashes and performs and wears and slightly curls, these are so similar. I've been wearing them both on 2 different eyes, and by the end of the day, I kind of forget which side was which. They're so similar. But I'm going to use this today, but not on the lower lashes. I'm going to go with Maybelline Sky High on the lower lashes. I did get a little bit of mascara on my lid right there. So while that dries, I did pull out a couple of other things to use this month. I pulled out the Rimmel Wonder Cloud All Day Wear Soft Shadows. These, you know what, I don't know if they still make these. I know we don't carry them at my store, but I found these at CVS. They are a cream eyeshadow in a little container like this, and they have a nice little wand. And I really like these a lot. They're super easy to just cover your entire eyelid and blend out lightly with your finger. And I haven't used these in a while, so I pulled these out to use this month. I don't know if I'm going to get around to using them because I have some other things I want to try. But I pulled these out. And then the other foundation-y type thing I pulled out was this. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind 4-in-1 Perfector Whipped Matte Makeup. This seems to have come out and like in a blink of an eye it was gone. People talked about it for a second and then no one ever used it again. It's just a very interesting whipped kind of weird texture, but I want to try to use it again this month and see if I even like it, you know. But that is it. That is my little drugstore shop my stash makeup look. Here's a little close-up of how everything came out. I love it, and I'm glad I went with this blush over the red one like I wanted to, because I think it just kind of goes a little better. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think as always by leaving me a comment. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you tomorrow with another drugstore video. Goodbye.